Peace, y'all. This is T.Ritter, director of Yellow Shoe Sauce in the music video. I'm about to walk you through my original shot list and what we ended up with. Big shout out to all the fans and listeners of Yellow. I work with him because he's good, but it's a whole different thing when the community gets behind something. So yeah, I mean, that's what he was already doing. He had a character in this world building on social media. All we did was give it some shape and some story, a series of moments inside this bubble we all share. So I wanted to start at the bus stop, a line of people, kind of just see the everyday workers, but kind of didn't time that out right. Idea was to get the line of people, slow panned, and then land on yellow. But relying on chance, had to scrap the idea. But we still had to move forward, so I knew we needed a moment shot and something to feel. So this pan up and close up worked really great. And the wind, just gave us that extra energy. So yeah. Next was a train shot. This was all handheld. We kind of wanted you to feel like he was on a train too, part of his commute. We originally was going to do it on a bus, but again, the logistics for that bus, we had to scrap. So glad we was able to move forward on this. We didn't have comms, so relaying direction was probably the toughest thing, but we got it done. Then we shot B-roll to build the atmosphere. We used it to let the viewer be in the world without always seeing yellow. Almost like when he is in the frame, he still feels like just another person passing by. I wanted to close that moment with a breath, a shot in the sky, pointing to openness, right before we throw him into the office scene. It's funny because he says, in the sun, in good times. And so I wanted to throw him indoors and kind of like give him bad news. I like to kind of contrast visually with lyrics sometimes. And the cup breaking was a way to exaggerate that emotion. Also a visual cue that he's breaking out. Then we shift to him playing guitar on his work desk, dreamy lighting, kind of floating. It's like when reality and imagination start to blur. Figure we can put him on his desk, have him kick his papers, getting a sign of breaking out, rebellion. From there, B-roll again, and then my favorite part, the spaghetti. That was Yellow's idea. We used it to symbolize mundane overload, him staring at the plate, poking at it. Then the camera crashes in like, look at this. That shot was about pressure and being overwhelmed. Then we hit Grand Central. That was about having a bunch of options, but nowhere to really go. Everyone's moving, and Yellow is just there, stuck in the middle, like he's fighting the current. Grand Central was interesting because we didn't have a permit, and we was trying to be low and still pull off the shots that we needed. But it was real notable how the crew came together and we was able to accomplish this. All that builds to the crescendo. The spaghetti throw, the kicking the papers, that sealed the emotion in his fate. And yeah, I could probably do a whole other video on how I wish we shot the spaghetti scene moment differently, but this was still one of my favorite parts. Once we had the story, we dropped in filler shots, cut to the beat, especially during chord changes. We didn't avoid silence. We embraced it a lot of times, giving the whole thing a space to breathe. And a couple of loop moments that felt meditative, really fit the tone perfectly. Shout out to Chris Soto, who edited this. And he did a lot with the whips and pans that really brought it out. So big love to everybody watching, commenting, and sharing. Shout out to the listeners who really see the work and engaging. We're just getting started.